Hello, hello, and welcome to the Musicians Talk Show podcast, episode 44. Today's podcast is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easy to build a stunning website for your music in minutes. Choose from hundreds of mobile-friendly themes and customize your design and content in a few clicks with Bandzoogle's easy-to-use visual editor. All the features you need for a professional website are already built right in, including tools to sell your music and merch commission-free right on your website, mailing list tools to grow your fan list and send newsletters, integrations to pull in content from all your online socials, and live support from their musician-friendly team 7 days a week. Bandzoogle plans start at just $8.29 a month, and that includes your own free custom domain name in that price. So go to bandzoogle.com, try it free for 30 days, and be sure to use our promo code TMTS. We got you guys 15% off your first year of subscription. That's promo code TMTS. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Dallas DeWhite.
And I'm Matt Tolley.
And this is a very special episode. We have two other co-hosts with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello.
A longtime friend of the podcast and returning co-host.
Hi, this is Rasan again.
And longtime friend of mine and was on the first iteration of the podcast, but never been on this iteration of the podcast.
Super happy to be here. This is Seth Boone.
Seth Boone, yeah, man.
It's a very special episode because we talk
Tell 'em what we're
about
getting
drug
ready to do.
addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't even hear you over
sex
there, Rasan.
addiction.
Sorry.
This is we're all like
gambling
spread out way
addiction,
across the room.
Right.
And how it's instead of it's like a really bad, it's all really good. Like just go ahead and do it.
You're talking about addiction. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Or
just do it.
Or just stop trying.
Power move.
Stop
Stop.
trying.
That's
Um,
the theme of the night.
This
Lots of
is a special
inside
episode
jokes.
because it's the 24-hour EP. That's right. The time has come. We've been trying to schedule this
Send
for
help.
2 years.
Yeah.
And no lie, the last one we did was January 2016. So we kind of have a different lineup this time. Unfortunately, the other two guys that are usually involved weren't able to make it. So we did what we could, and we're here now. So it's a very special episode. We're going to be talking very briefly, maybe 10 minutes tops here at the beginning about what we're going to be doing and why we didn't have an episode last week.
Yeah.
And then we're going to shut it off, continue on with what we're doing, and
Yeah.
then we'll check back in a few hours. We're here for 24 hours right now
Yeah,
and recording
we're locked
music.
in.
Oh man.
So first, we didn't have an episode this past week because I got food poisoning and threw up so violently that I shredded my voice and I could not talk. And Matt and Rasan were
Yeah.
involved and around me, so they know that that's true.
Definitely could not talk.
It
Your
was
falsetto was
horrifying.
non-existent.
Rasan was actually
Yeah, he
over
was in the
tracking
room when- yeah,
bass
yeah.
when I ended up getting sick, so he can
Yeah.
speak on that.
Yeah, it was so scary because we were running a few sections and it was going real smooth and everything was getting all dialed in and greased up and everything. It was great. And then Dallas just says, "I got to get up." After complaining about his stomach for maybe 5 minutes.
my
or
stomach
so.
was hurting the whole time, but I was just
Yeah.
resigned to the fact that like I'm just gonna get through this session and then I'm gonna chill.
Like I was thinking like maybe you just need some water. He'll be all right, right? He gets up and goes to the bathroom, and then I do a few more takes on my own, and then I just start hearing a "Oh!"
Dude, it was.
"Oh!"
You know what?
Oh,
That's
man.
actually exactly how it sounded.
It
It's fucked
sounded
up.
exactly like somebody was being stabbed in his bathroom. But of course, like it was just him. It was him puking,
Turning inside out.
and turning himself inside out.
Yeah,
Turns
it
out
was.
that's not good for your vocals.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
it was
not.
basic. Imagine screaming just like Rasan did, as hard and loud as you can. 15 times in a row,
Yeah.
5 times.
Wow, projectile.
So the 15 times 5, like, and that's what I was going through.
He
and
comes
it was
back in,
Yeah,
and
my
then
voice
runs-
was radically different the first time. I
very
came back
different,
in.
very
Yeah.
different. He comes back in, and he already sounds like he'd been, screaming at the top of his lungs and throwing up at the same time. Go
Accurate.
figure. And then we run a few more takes, and then he just gets up without saying anything, runs back to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I hear maybe about 5 more of those extremely violent heaves.
I'm not loving reliving this.
And I get up, and it sounded like straight out of a sitcom. I go, Dallas?
Yeah. I didn't hear that, by the way.
You good? No, he didn't hear it. He didn't hear it at
no
all.
response.
And then I finally worked up the guts to try to I guess see what
he was alive?
damage, what carnage awaited me.
It
And he was
was
still
not
on his
messy.
feet.
I will say that. It was all where it was supposed to be.
I didn't go into the bathroom. I was not brave enough to do that because I didn't know what I was going to see.
Yeah.
If I was going to find like just a lifeless body, just covered in his own vomit.
It was rough. I've never been sick like that. It was food poisoning. I'm like 99% sure. And I'm also 99% sure it was from a Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich. So
Oh,
I'm
good.
never eating Wendy's again.
Shout out to everybody who's eating right now, and shout out to everyone who's
Yeah, good
specifically
point.
eating Wendy's grilled cheese sandwiches, grilled
Chicken. Yeah.
sandwiches.
Grilled
I,
cheese.
I'm done with that, man.
So
Yeah.
the point though is that we were supposed to do an episode that
We were
Sunday.
supposed to do an episode the next.
and you called me.
yeah,
and you
this
were
was
like,
Thursday night.
Oh, you didn't call me. You
I didn't
texted
call you. I
me.
couldn't. Did you
Yeah.
get? I sent you. So I texted you that, and then I did a voice thing where I
I got
said
the voice thing, but I didn't get what it was. I literally couldn't hear it. Like,
it was.
I thought,
It was. That's hilarious because it
Yeah.
was literally me and my phone going, "This is what my voice sounds like."
yeah, I
and it
couldn't
was
hear
like,
anything.
"This is what my voice sounds like."
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in my
Yeah,
phone.
I still don't quite have it back. You can probably tell, but
Yeah,
it's,
Dallas, to
my
give you
falsetto's completely
some
gone.
like perspective, you remember those old PSAs, those anti-smoking PSAs with the
Yeah.
with like
Yeah,
the,
with
Oh, yeah, with the,
throat
with the clicker
thing.
thing.
Mhm.
what do they call that? Tracheotomy, where they cut that. They cut that
yes.
open. And,
Thing I
I don't know what
Yeah.
the thing they put there is. But
Validate
when they
that.
cut that, it's called.
It was like
tracheotomy.
worse than that.
It
It
was.
was very very
So
rough.
we really wanted to do a podcast. We were planning
Yeah,
on it.
we
but-
had it planned,
and we had
yeah.
an interview planned as well that we had to reschedule, which is going to be coming up soon for you guys too.
Yep.
Um,
That's exciting.
but I literally couldn't talk,
yeah. So, anyways, we're
which
here.
doesn't make for great
Yeah.
podcasting.
Right. But so we didn't.
So
we
enough of
skipped
that.
it, but we're gonna make up for it by doing this 24-hour EP coverage.
Yeah. So let's
It'll be a
move
lot
on
of
from
fun.
violent illness and talk about very briefly about what we're doing here, and then we'll cut it off and come back later.
You want to lay out the idea first? Let them know in case people don't know.
Sure,
what the 24-hour
So
EP
the
is.
idea started as kind of an experiment to be creative without like second guessing yourself. You know, if
Right.
you write an album over weeks or months, you're always kind of going back and being like, "Oh, this could change one note." You know,
Sure.
well, there's no time to do that in 24
Right.
hours. So we started doing that, and yeah, the idea is just be creative with no inhibitions. So the goal is to write, record, mix, everything, and release even an EP within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's
So
the best part.
That's going to be 3 or 4 songs, I think, is the goal,
Is
and
the
we're
goal,
going to
so-
see how far we get.
Cool. So we're
So-
here at the Playroom again.
This is very different than I've done it the past 2 times because we have a full band. We
Yeah.
have Seth on live drums,
Live drums.
Rasan on bass,
Live bass.
live bass, yeah, upright bass. No,
No, not that.
that
I'm
would
on
limit
dead
us a little bit.
vocals.
Matt's going to be the singer. In the past, it was just my buddy Grayson who sang and my buddy Stefan who played guitar. So it was 2 guitarists and a singer.
Right.
And we'd either play to program bass and we'd program drums. So
So here we are as a
That-
4-piece.
this is going to be interesting. I
Yeah.
have my whole recording rig set up. We're in our rehearsal space, and Matt will snap some pictures. I think
I will. I'm gonna
so we
keep
can
covering
share it. And you
Yep.
guys can kind of see what we're living in for the next 24 hours.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we're going to be able to
Spoilers,
capture ideas right here on the fly as we write them.
Yes,
It's
you
gonna be
guys
free
are gonna
jazz,
working
so
the music, and
all
I'm
It's
free
free
jazz.
jazz. It's avant-garde, like
Oh god,
hip hop.
you know I'm out when the word avant-garde comes out.
It's like kind of avant-garde with a mixture of
Nope, done.
What was that video that we used to watch with the people with the pipes in their mouths that would go out on stage? It was like avant-garde.
Oh
You
my! That
remember
is
that?
the definition
That
of
is the
avant-garde, and that was the
strangest-
funniest video, dude. I don't think we've ever laughed.
That's
harder
Oh
than that.
man, that was the
Performance
best day.
art.
all-
You've probably
stuff.
seen it. You just it's performance art. You just Google weirdest video on the internet. It's probably the first one.
No,
I'm not
it
kidding.
is.
I think that's what it actually was
It's-
called.
It's verbatim. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or that Japanese guy with the snare drum that just like screams into a mic and like mics it up and he just like beats it, and that's the performance.
I'm
He
loving that
He
already.
sets up. You haven't seen this?
No.
Okay. He sets up a table. It's him, a table, a snare drum, and he's just got one microphone, a handheld mic like a 58 or something like that, and he just hits it with a drumstick and
mic? Or the
no,
snare?
no. He hits the snare and he's like sliding it around and he's writhing around on all over the table and the ground and everything. And that's a performance that people literally pay money to go see.
Not me though.
They go to see a
No.
living meme.
That's funny.
This man is a meme.
That's
That's, an anti-meme.
hilarious.
That's crazy.
And
There's no like,
hey, whatever you got to do to
you know.
kind of be an entrepreneur, do it. you
we
know?
live in a society, so
I'm not going to fault someone for making a buck, I guess.
yeah.
Let's do this. Let's briefly go around the room, starting with Matt and then
Okay.
Rasan, and then we'll end with Seth. And I guess talk a little bit about
What we're aiming to get.
what
out
you're
of this.
expecting or
Right,
what you
right.
want to get out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Would that work? And
I
then
like that.
then we'll be done. I don't want to spend too much time here. We got music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna let you guys do most music. If I have any ideas or whatever, I'm going to like spit them out at you, take them or leave them, whatever. And while you guys are making the music, I'm gonna be sitting here writing lyrics and trying to get a head start on
Yeah.
the idea of the song and what the theme sounds like to me, at least.
And before Rasan goes, I'll interject real quick. One thing you said, Matt, that was cool, and I really like the idea of is doing this podcast now. So we have it logged right now in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Before we can go back in 24 hours and see what we came up with.
Yeah.
But right now we have no idea what that is. So it's cool to kind of log that.
while we
And,
still have our sanity.
Yeah, and then we'll go back and
Before we
talk. I
hate
have a
each
very
other.
squeaky drum throne if you can hear that. yeah. Anyway, I just want to say it's cool to kind of log it now and then be able to
We'll do
reflect
a
back on
midpoint
it.
and an end point.
Yeah,
right?
midpoint and endpoint. Yep.
Cool.
Time capsule.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Rasan.
Like my expectation, I guess, is to. I've never written songs with other people with the intention of actually completing them multiple in a 24-hour period. So that's going to be really new for me and exciting because I'm one of those guys who wants to edit and rework and redo and
And I'm the same way.
everything.
So that's why this really
Yeah.
tested.
Experiment,
And
yeah.
Stefan, the other guitar player that was a part of this,
Same.
he's like that even more. So it really started between me and him talking about that. And then I think it was me that said, what if we just did this, where we couldn't do that? We tried to make it so that we can't do that. And it still kind of happens. But
Right.
another thing worth saying is there were no previous ideas allowed. So it's
Right.
not like
Yeah,
I walked in the
right.
room with like
We forgot
4
to say
ideas
that.
and we're going to make them
Correct.
songs. Like none of that. We
Yeah,
had no idea.
no
It's all
preconceived stuff at all. Like I don't even know what genre we're going to end
Right.
up with.
I was going to ask
because-
you
It'll
guys,
probably
if you guys
be-
had any
yeah.
thoughts on that. Like, do you see it going away or?
I mean, we
Type in
have
weirdest video on the internet.
Yeah. And then imagine that
snare drum
audio.
with with Japanese snare drum performance art.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean,
probably
for,
what it's
for
gonna
me,
sound like.
it's probably going to come out rock just because that's in my
Yeah,
blood, and
yeah.
that's kind of what I.
That's what I'm
do.
hoping for too. I think my voice kind of has that rock.
And that works. That
tendency.
works really well with the
Right.
instrumentation we have too.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
we kind of have a Zeppelin thing
It'll be
going
cool.
on as far
Oh,
as the instrumentation. Seth,
Yeah, I'd just like to build upon what y'all said. I've only met everyone besides Dallas literally like an hour ago, maybe
Right.
maybe an hour and a half ago.
We'll see if we have some
Another
chemistry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
there's
look
definitely
forward-
definite chemistry. We both like anime, so
Yeah,
there's
that was
that.
surprising.
We're both weeb trash, so
Proud. I look forward to learning everyone's name by like the next hour.
It's in the mixer.
Yeah, no, these are some of the best musicians I could have gathered in less than a 24-hour notice. And Dallas and I have worked together. What would it's been like over half a decade? Various
We've worked
projects.
together a long time
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in
You
a
know,
lot of
fun.
different ways too.
I mean, this is like the ultimate brain dump.
This would be cool.
This
Yeah.
is amazing.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Seth in a while, and I haven't played with him in even longer, so I'm excited for all that.
Yeah,
And he has a very beautiful Ludwig kit.
Yeah.
yeah. It's the Ringo.
What do you call
Starr.
those heads?
Oh, these are. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Remo.
Remo
not an ad.
Power
Not an
Strike.
ad.
Power Stroke.
I'm more asking like that aesthetic. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
is that
this
called?
this whole aesthetic is based off of Ringo Starr's classic kit.
Mhm.
It's his kit, the Ludwig Oyster wrap, except it's in blue,
Yeah.
not black, and the top heads are
I like the blue one.
synthetic calf skin.
I was about to say it looked kind of
Yeah.
like
Yep.
pig skin or cow skull
There's
skin.
no hole in the bass drum. It's completely virgin. It's going to have that nice resonance. Maybe even have like a more of a John Bonham feel.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Dallas said, we're bred into rock. I've branched out into other things, but it'd be exciting to go into home base and launch from there.
Yeah, especially working within such a small time period. It's you go interesting new places,
Oh, I should
but it's
point
also
out,
it's tough to go too far in one direction.
I'm going to give a shout out to my dad, Jimmy Boone. This is his drum set I bought from him, and I'm playing the Ludwig Supraphonic snare.
That's the John Bonham sound.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that is the most beautiful thing. It's a family heirloom.
Yeah,
I got
and we
a few
did.
years back.
We've used that snare on a ton of recordings.
It's going to sound thick and tight.
Thick with
And
two
we did
C's
some
of Q.
we did some sound checking, and they sound really good so far.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, the whole kit, the whole setup actually sounds really good. Actually, like, what are we all using? If we want to run
I'm going
that
Kemper
down?
Direct as always.
direct
um,
through what?
Through what amp model am I running?
Through
I'll
actually,
probably use
I'm
a bunch of
curious.
different ones, but I'm just running through my Kemper.
Yeah,
So right now I have it
I'm-
set to a Morgan.
I'm also running. I play bass. If you didn't know, I don't know if I've even talked about that. But I've got an Ibanez SR706
That's a nice
just
bass.
active pre in the bass, and then running through a Sansamp programmable preamp with I've got 3
Tech 9, right?
channels. Yeah, it's
Nice.
Tech 21. Not a Tech
Oh, I
9.
saw the NYC.
Tech Nine's a band.
Tech 9's the rapper.
Tech
rapper
9
group.
is also a gun, but That's-
Yeah, sorry, Tech 21. I saw the port that says Tech 21 NYC.
yeah.
And I just glanced down. I was like, Tech
that's
9.
the brand. That's the brand that makes it.
Yeah,
actually,
Tech 21.
Tech 21. And then have that going through a Mark Brace compressore. It's a tube opto compressor, so you have a tube giving a little bit of juice, and then also still you have some attack release control, just like an optical compressor, but it is tube powered and tube colored and everything. And then I've got some various toys.
Yeah, he's got a nice little compact pedal
Yeah,
board
I feel
there.
like I'm looking at
Yeah.
a Borg from like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
down at my feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your Polytune. Is that a Polytune?
It's a Polytune. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's currently plugged into nothing, so
Yeah,
it's,
so it
it's
just keeps
flashing.
flashing back and
It's
forth.
flashing
It does
as
look like a
I touch my foot to the
And Seth, you're playing
cable.
all
Checking
Zildjian
the
symbols?
Yeah, I'm playing all
Not that it
Zildjian.
matters that much. I see the K Custom Crash.
Yeah, they're actually hodgepodge. We got the K Crash. We got the A Zildjian, like 16-inch. Got this beautiful 20-inch Constantinople rye that you just heard bang against my drum set. And, of course, 15-inch Avidus hats released a few
15
years
is
back.
kind of weird, right?
Yeah, they are
15 's
14
big.
born and
standard.
bred to sound like straight from the 1950s, so it really hits the vibe. Named
Oh,
after
wow.
the founder of Zildjian, Mr. Avidus.
Awesome.
That's
Oh.
awesome. Matt
singing
singing
through a
through his
sign
voice.
Yeah, got the 1993
Got-
model.
Yeah,
Matt's
got
got
his
all kinds of
handheld-
vocal gear going on. All right, cool.
All right.
That'll do it. Let's check back in.
Yeah.
Maybe halfway through. I don't know.
Hopefully we'll
I
have
think we'll
something.
check back in kind of when we feel like we need a break. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
When we feel like we need to call for help,
Right.
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
Um,
All right, cool.
FEMA assistance.
Awesome, dudes.
Let's
Here
do
we
it.
go.
Here we go. 24 hours.
And we are back. Dallas DeWhite speaking. We did not do a midpoint thing.
We got a little
So
carried
it-
away.
We're working
Yeah, we
too
got
hard.
carried away. We were too focused. So at this point, the 24-hour EP is done.
Yes.
Very nice.
It was a marathon.
Help.
Let's. We are pretty beat.
That
Yeah.
was incredible.
It was a
Oh,
long
man.
night.
What a time.
Let's go around the room. Let's start with Seth.
Yeah.
Kind of reverse order from earlier. What? Just talk to us. What was up? What do you think? How did you like it?
Well, I learned everyone's names. It worked out.
It's a big improvement.
Yeah. You got to bring it around full circle. Man, we're going to listen back to this and it's going to like be zero time cut for the audience and for us.
It's going to feel like a time
it's-
warp.
it
A
is.
lot
Time warp.
changed.
It
Yeah.
is wild. No, I personally am proud of our, what do you call, chemistry.
Yeah, me
I
too.
thought it worked really well together.
Really fun, really good time. The
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah. I thought we came up with 3 songs that are very different from each other.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, oh, wow, they couldn't be more different.
A nice, diverse, collective song.
Yeah, I have a newfound respect for everyone I'm sharing a couch with.
Same thing.
But you're only,
Same.
For the listeners,
For
he's on
the
the couch
listeners,
with
there's
only
only-
Rasan.
there's only one person on the couch right now, and it's me.
Yeah.
So I guess like we started out as zero respect because you didn't know me before, and now you have a
Now
newfound
he-
respect, which
He
is
lost all
just
respect
like,
for me and Matt and gave it to you.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
played Nintendo Switch together, and it was bromance
we
forever.
Did, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So we tracked vocals for Matt,
Yeah.
and I got schooled a little bit in Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah, we don't play.
Seth's number 5 in the world.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
that level 3 smash on deck.
I have
Now we go.
I have social skills, so I wasn't very good at it. But
Oh, where's the lie though?
That's what I was telling
Where's the
Seth.
lie?
He told
Yeah.
me we were walking around Target getting snacks before we started this thing, and Seth said he was number 5 in the world. And I, first of all, I thought that was awesome. But
Weird-
then
weird
I said,
flex.
it's interesting how some things
You can
don't
brag
like.
about some
Like when
things.
you get to the top, it's like, hey, I'm the number 1 Super Smash Brother player in the world, and then you stop for a second and go, I gotta slow down.
Well, it's one thing
What am I
if
doing
it
with my
like if you could like make a ton of cash.
At
with,
least you're a good
with
drummer, too.
tournaments and like you
I
can.
guess you could do that.
make it a
and
career.
Twitch,
There are people that
you know,
do
stuff like
that.
I was not going
Twitch
to
is huge.
monetize this. That was purely for my own mental health.
It was just
Yeah.
it
It
was
was a
just
long
for,
semester. It was a long time.
It's okay.
But no, I am blown away by Matt's voice to
Oh, stop.
directly divert attention from my hobbies. You did amazing,
Thank you, man.
especially on the
I
last
appreciate
song.
it. Oh, I
and
appreciate it.
especially singing after being up for 24 hours.
Yeah, I
Matt
didn't
slept
sleep.
the
Yeah,
I didn't
none of us
sleep.
really slept,
closed
but
my
Matt
eyes for a
slept the
minute.
least.
I
out of all
closed
of
my
us.
eyes for a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
I
Dallas
sl-
was the
I-
same way.
I
Closed my
slept
eyes
for
a minute.
probably 10 to 15 minutes tops.
Yeah. I was
I
still
laid
working on
down for
lyrics
probably
and all
30 or 40, but I did not sleep for much of it. Matt, I
Yeah.
didn't even see you lay down once.
Yeah, I did a lot of walking around the playroom.
Mhm.
That wakes me right up. If I do a couple laps, I'm up. So that's good. They say that's the trick to if you get tired driving, pull over, walk around your car a couple times, and you'll all of a sudden you'll be like way more awake.
Just get some blood flowing. I
Just
guess.
get a little bit
Yeah.
like on your feet. Get on your feet.
no, it helps.
It helps.
That's interesting. I never
Works
thought of that.
Better
Yeah.
than coffee, actually.
Never tried it.
Going around.
Seth and Razan got a good night's sleep. They slept 8 or 9 hours, I think.
Untrue. Completely untrue.
Together.
You guys,
It
you guys
was.
were laying down and kind of down for the count for a minute, but
Cuddling.
I don't know how much you actually slept. Every time I looked at you, you were looking. So I kept thinking like, oh, Seth and Razan are sleeping because I'm editing vocals or whatever I was doing, and you guys were laying on the couch on the floor.
Yeah.
And every time I'd like glance over, Seth's eyes just wide open, staring at me.
I was like, I don't
I
want
bent
him
down to
go
grab
to
my
sleep.
shoe under the table. My face, I was like face to face with Rasan, like staring at me. I was like, dude, these guys are wide awake.
Yeah, I was.
They were just laying down, like, but their eyes were it was like
Yeah,
you're
I-
sleeping
I
with
had
your eyes
to-
open.
I had to
It's
lay
creepy.
down,
cold.
And I
too.
would like shift between this weird like mid state between sleep and wake all the time. I woke up multiple times with my eyes still closed. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's called sleep paralysis.
no, that's different.
It's real fun.
That's different.
Yeah.
No, sleep paralysis is when you wake up and you're not completely awake. Actually, your eyes are open, but you're still like halfway in a dream state. So your body
Motor functions haven't caught up.
stays. Your motor functions actually stay purposefully frozen.
Have you seen Hill House?
So that no,
There's a whole episode about that. I'm not going to spoil it, but
don't spoil it.
my God.
Don't spoil it.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything about that.
I'm also not very good at.
So
finishing
you
a
did that
series,
this
so-
time? You think it's because you forced yourself to stay awake for so long?
Yeah, it
When
was,
we were up
it
to
was
like
definitely
4:30. You
we
guys
were up.
at
We
least-
started.
At least
We got kind of a late start. We were supposed to start at 7.
Started around
We were
8:30.
we were still setting up. We after we kind of did the setup, did a quick sound check. Then we got dinner.
Yeah,
Then we came back and got started. That was
Yeah.
about 9 o'clock.
fair.
Yeah.
We did not really take a break and lay down. None of that happened until 4:30 or 5.
It was
at
about
least.
4:30 in the morning. I remember looking at my clock on my phone.
And the first 2 of the 3 songs were
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
done.
And that second song, like, or
It's amazing.
So
It was-
let me
we
say
just
this.
finished it up because it took me so long to do vocals.
Yeah, for the
But-
listeners, the order of the songs, I'll have them on a playlist on YouTube or SoundCloud or whatever.
Sure.
The order they're in is the order we wrote them in.
Yeah.
So song 1 is the first one, song 2, etc.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's what I've done for the others. Just
It's a
it
good
just
way to
made
do
no
it.
sense. So
Yeah.
when we say the second song, it's not like you don't know. Like
Right.
it's the middle song.
Yep.
It's called "Suffer Me."
and that song is a meaty boy. Let me
It's a
tell you.
It was a meaty boy.
We
It's a meaty
started
boy,
out
it is.
with
Rasan and I got carried away with odd meters.
with
and
odd meters
interesting
and
patterns and phrases.
But-
overlapping
I mean, so worth it.
ostinatos and
So worth it because how awesome is that thing now? I mean, it's like it's an amazing piece of like song that transforms from 4/4
Yeah.
to 7.
So the problem
or
is-
9/8 to
it's
It
cool,
took
but
me
the
for a
problem
loop.
is
It was great.
Matt had trouble with lyrics because
Yeah.
it's just so
it's all
weird
over
and
the
odd.
place. It's definitely a big song. It's a big song. I didn't want to do anything like stupid on it. So
I
was,
wouldn't
like,
even say you had trouble with them. Like, once they were nailed down, like the subject
Right.
line, man,
as far as like time
Magic.
it took me. I think that's where like that definitely took me trouble. Like it took me way longer. I was up till
You were stuck on that one for a long
I
time,
was up till 9
but the
this
problem
morning
is
working on it.
you were stuck working on it for hours. But then at
And
the
I-
end of the hours, like you scrapped everything you had, so you didn't
Yeah.
even like walk away with anything.
Yeah,
so that was
because-
what was
and
frustrating for you.
He scrapped everything he had because we had mapped out where the vocals
Right.
were going in the wrong spots.
Yeah,
So he
and
was
then everybody was asleep or kind of or busy.
Anybody
Dallas
who
was
could've-
busy. He wasn't
Yeah.
asleep, but he was busy, and these guys were asleep. So I was just like working on the song.
Yeah,
out there.
Matt comes in, he's like, "Oh, I was singing here." I was like, "No, that's the riff.
It wasn't
That's not
gonna
the
work.
verse."
It
And he
wasn't
was
gonna
like,
work.
"Shit." So the 2 things he had accomplished
And
got
to be
scrapped.
honest, I didn't really even like what I had, so I was like kind of just.
I like what you have now, and
Yeah,
Seth
me too.
contributed a lot
Yeah,
of lyrics
Seth,
to the
dude,
chorus,
saved
which I
the
think,
chorus.
dude, I
think ended up
Save
being
the
really cool.
chorus.
I think this song, number
cool.
2, was like such an even collaboration between all of us. You don't.
Yeah.
I really
get
feel like
that.
all of them were.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
You know, I think
didn't have
that's
much
why
to
I
do
love
with the
this
first two
project.
musically or any of them music. No, none of them musically really. I let you guys handle it. I
You
mean,
were
the first one, man.
definitely in the room for the first one because you didn't have anything to work on yet.
Right. So
Yeah.
that one I was
Then-
hanging out, but
then
I
when
didn't
we-
yeah,
really
and
feel
you,
it much.
you
When we
did a
had
good
that
job
one-
of like kind of
Being in the
informing the
conversation.
sections because you were sort of walking through where your vocals were going
Right.
to be too.
I was trying to figure it out at the same time.
So we would
Yeah.
like kind of respond to you talking through the lyrics and lyric ideas by just like breaking down
Yeah.
the instrumental part where we needed to.
The,
and
the
it
way
sort of
we
helped a
did,
lot.
That was the most collaborative, I'd say, because I was waiting for like the song to
Oh,
be
the
done
first
so I
one?
could write it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
then once
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had like shit to work on, so I was like on my
so
own.
you were sitting outside the room a
Right.
lot of times
Right.
writing lyrics while we were writing the other 2 songs.
yeah,
in the cold.
So
Oh, it's
yeah,
so
it was
cold.
really-
in the
really cold in the
63
hallways.
Yeah.
degrees, dude.
Ugh.
Not
Yeah.
cool.
It was a crisp 63.
yeah, it was cold for a minute. It's hot now. But,
Yeah.
I was going to say the process that we wrote them is we're live tracking everything. So
Yeah.
we were jamming with headphones on so we could hear all the drums,
That
bass,
was amazing.
everything.
how
Yeah.
amazing do they sound afterwards? Like for just a live recording in a room like that. I mean,
Pretty good.
Yeah,
we use the X.
I don't think you and I have ever done that.
iMac.
Pretty.
I don't think we've ever had a chance
Never
to like
live track
no,
like that. No.
and like
It's
having
really
a
cool.
talkback mic with headphones.
Yeah.
That's what's nice because what's nice
Yeah.
about a talkback mic and headphones is we can talk while
While
we're
we're
playing,
playing,
right.
Yeah,
and
You
we
don't
can hear each other because
Call
drums
out
aren't an issue.
changes.
Yeah.
We could like because the first song that's how we got through
Yeah.
our chorus. We just came up with
The
this,
pre-chorus is what, and the chorus we
and,
spent a little time on, but the pre-chorus
yeah,
you literally
yeah.
called changes.
Yeah.
and
That was crazy.
We
As
changed
we were
one
playing.
chord and kept the rest.
I
That
just
was
kept
really cool.
hearing different places that we could go.
So for the
and
listeners,
just
we're
yelled.
playing the
That was
riff
really cool.
for the first song, which is called
What's it called?
What was it called?
That's
what's
so
it called?
strange.
That was-
how-
we finished it so many hours ago. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It was the first one done, and it was, yeah.
Did we
I
writ it down?
Alone Again.
Alone Again, yes.
Oh, yeah,
We,
it's
and
nice.
it
I
went
had no
through several
idea.
changes. Like we were like, what
Yeah.
are we gonna call this thing? So that was
It
part of
was Don't Waste My Time.
Yeah,
in
it was
the
That
the-
was the
that was
that
the
was the
pending
tentative
title,
title, yeah, or the working title, I
Yeah,
guess.
but
they
I like
say.
Right.
Alone Again.
But
It's
what?
right.
Oh, what was I saying?
You were talking about
Words.
working through like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
basically
So
improv
so what
way through
happened for
Greek
the
words.
listeners is we're riffing in A or A flat, and we get to the pre-chorus or we get to where we feel like it needs a change,
Mhm.
and Rasan just goes 4. We go to 4. He goes back to 1. 4 again, back to 1. Then he goes flat 6. So we go to the flat 6. And then he goes flat 2. So we go to the flat 2, and that was that.
Is that and
We
now,
had
let me
that
ask,
part.
is that how Nashville does their thing too? Isn't that a live
no.
band thing, like a real
They
live
call
band
it the
thing?
Nashville number system, but it's really just
It's
basic
really
music
not a
theory.
Nashville number
Is that
system
the
like that.
Harry
Every chord-
Marie thing he talked about?
Nashville
Hey,
numbers
Maria,
is
he
a little
says,
bit
yeah.
A bunch
different.
of different
Is
drummers.
it?
Yeah.
Because it's more
Yeah.
like country, based off country songs.
Well, it's
It's weird. It's
got its own
hard to
like
explain.
notation system too. Like it's hard to explain
Yeah,
without
the way
a,
they write it
a-
down.
a
Well,
visual.
they have it so like if you draw a square around a number, that means a stop.
I know,
For example,
I-
that's
yeah.
wrong, but that's an example. Like if you circle it,
Right.
it means build, like
Right.
stuff like that.
Just
Like,
weird, like
This is more of a
symbols that don't
Berkeley
necessarily-
thing.
well, the national
it's
number
just-
system is for someone who's on the plane to a gig and has to learn 40 songs, and they aren't going to be in front of a drum set until they get there to
Yeah.
play the gig,
They
and they
have
have
to
to like
practice
listen to the
that.
songs, write it down real quick, write where the stops, the builds, all that stuff is, and then play.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pros.
But the numbers,
Pros.
that's just basic music theory.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's
any,
not-
You can call
any
those-
sort of
yeah.
like harmony, like flat 2 is related to the 1.
Yeah.
It's all
So we
based
were
on
in
a
A
major
flat
scale.
and-
Is that the am I correct?
Yeah, yeah,
understanding?
yeah.
Okay.
So like we were in A flat, for example, and flat 2 would just be like
So the flat 2 is A.
be double flat.
Right.
Actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Right,
went
right,
an A
right.
and an A
Wow,
flat
wow.
together.
I went to
Damn.
I got a degree.
Paid off. Paid
Flex
off.
that
But
Berkeley.
anyway, it was really like just a way for us to, because I was hearing this stuff in like basically real time, and I was just experimenting, and then we just stuck
It was
with it.
cool, man. It
was cool.
We got some
And when
interesting
when
songs
someone's
going.
really kind of vibing and hearing stuff like that as a group, you just go with
It
it.
just kind of
Yeah.
roll
You
with
don't
it.
stop and say, like, hold on, I don't like that. Just go with it, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
figure
Test
it
it
out
out.
after.
If it
Definitely.
sucks,
Yeah, it was a very
then
conclusive environment.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, we took the first song in a really weird direction, and we went down that rabbit hole for probably 45
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
and then we decided scratch all that. We're gonna do
Oh
something
yeah,
different.
which
Yeah.
was also my
I
fault.
forgot about that.
There
Well, that
was-
was just a
Yeah.
unanimous, like, all right, I don't think this is working out, and then everybody was like, yeah,
but
let's
we
try
did
something else.
get to end up using
We
the
used it anyways,
the
right? for
drum
some
beat
other
that
song.
inspired it. Like
Yeah.
I got
That's
to play
true.
the Mozambique over this weird riff. We also
Well, that
were
riff's not that
covering
weird.
on.
That's just a 4/4 riff.
Yeah, no, but
We're
what
talking about
when I
the
was
intro
trying to
bass
play
riff and Suffer
the
Me.
7 over that riff and repeating it over.
That was in the second song.
Yeah.
9. It's
Yeah.
9/4.
No,
Oh, the
like
first part you're
repeating
doing?
over
remember,
seven,
remember when you were
and we
working out
scratched
the
it.
first part?
Oh, the very first.
The very first
we scrapped.
time, and Seth was playing something in 7, and I took that bass intro riff and I just put it on top of that, and I tried to like just stay quiet and let him do it because I loved the sound
Yeah,
that
it
we
was
were
cool.
getting.
So Seth was playing in 7 while Rasan was playing a bass line.
And then once we made him aware that he was playing in 7, then it just started falling apart.
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
too much.
I was like, no, I'm not. No.
Yeah, you got to feel it. You can't count. I wanted to run the listeners through our recording process or writing/recording process. So with each song, we did the same thing. We had the headphones on and the talkback and all that stuff. So we jammed and talked through parts. And we wouldn't hit record till the whole song was written.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we wrote the whole song.
Yeah, kudos to
At
you
some
guys for having
point-
memories that can like remember all those changes because you guys like
There's a
like,
lot of
these songs are not-
changes in these
these
songs.
are not
So
like
many
simple,
changes.
straightforward songs. There's a
And
lot
I
of
mean, we
changes.
had, an hour of rehearsal.
Yeah.
Plus, they didn't exist before then.
Yeah,
so
I was super
guess we
impressed.
kinda have that going for
I was
us,
super
but-
impressed. You guys didn't have a lot of takes either. Like it was really, you guys did it really.
So once
efficiently.
we kind of looked around, the three of us, not Matt, because Matt was working on lyrics,
Right.
we'd look around and be like, I think it's time to record. So then I'd turn around, hit record,
that
and we
first
tracked
one,
the song that we had just written.
Yeah.
that first one you guys nailed like right off the bat. I was like
The
impressed.
first
I was, like, wow.
was really good on
I
that
was
first
like,
one.
Yeah, I mean,
And
not,
that one-
not 100%, but like a studio take, but a fucking song you just wrote and nailed it. Like
That one came out of a jam, so like what we
Right.
kind of did with each of them was we just like picked a riff and just kind of jammed on it for a little
Yeah,
bit.
how many times are we gonna do it?
And
part
then-
of the first jam we did ended up being kind of the main
Yeah, the main
mainish
riff.
in that
Yeah.
first song, Alone Again.
So we were like riding on this just like kind of funk rock groove, and then returned back to it because I guess we all kind of felt about the same way about it. Like it was kind of working, and then just built the entire song off of that. We made one change to the riff to be what it is now, and then went from there. So it was just part by part by part, jammed out some more, or like stopped and built it.
So one of the toughest parts, I think, for us three as the band was we would write, let's say, the intro.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to the verse, and we're working on a verse for 20 minutes. And then we move on to the pre-chorus, and that's 40 minutes. And then we go to a chorus. That bangs out real quick, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But and then we're kind of like, what was the intro? Like, what? I forgot everything we did.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go back and like remember, like, okay, all right, here we go. So, I mean,
You say
we're
that,
piecing
but,
these
but
things
you guys
together.
Did it. You did it
And it's
well.
so
Like,
weird.
I was impressed by how well you guys recovered all
Those
the
are
parts.
probably accurate numbers, like 20 to 40, but like,
per
but it
part,
does not feel like that in
It
this
feels
room.
way longer
Yeah.
for some things because you feel like, I guess this is just me.
You're looping
because
like the same riff.
you're looping the
Yeah.
same thing over and over again.
If you
feel
try
like
playing
you should
one thing
remember
for
it.
5 minutes, that 5 minutes will feel like an hour.
I cannot believe we're
It'll feel
done.
like an eternity.
I know.
That's so
I was
weird.
gonna say that. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that this 24 hours seems like it went by so fast. Like
It's like it was only
beginning
like
of this?
19 or
Yeah,
20.
let it be known.
Way
It's only hour 20, so we actually
Right.
finished early.
Yes, we did.
Correct. You got to go mix it and stuff. So that's part of the.
I'm
time,
gonna
right?
mix.
So, yeah.
It's the deadlines.
But
Yeah.
the idea being that I was I fucking forgot what I was just
All
getting
the
ready to say
things.
something.
For
What was I gonna
me,
say?
Was it something about
already said
remembering
it.
the parts?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't.
It was about how quickly time passed by. For
yeah,
Rasan,
quickly
it
how
was.
time passed. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. So yeah, just the fact that 24 hours just not sleeping, all that time. Sorry, yeah, all that time was went by so fast. It seems like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I agree.
Yeah, for me, it was like living in the moment. It was like each
Really?
song was a vessel for just an. It was just a temporal illusion the entire day for me. I had no
Yeah.
idea how long anything lasted.
Like
Yeah.
time was stretching.
We're also in
and
a
then-
windowless room in
Right.
a windowless building.
Right.
So
Yeah.
We didn't see the sun until about 8 in the morning. We
We took a
stopped.
McDonald's
Oh no, actually, it was like 9.
It was like
Dude,
9:30.
We
Yeah.
thought about
like
it at
9:30.
8.
We started talking about it at 8:30. Made the decision to actually go at 9.
So
and
those
got out the
hours
door at 9:30.
from like 5 to 8, couldn't tell you what I did in those hours.
No.
It's
I don't
all
have a
blurred.
clue, dude.
I know that I slept for maybe an hour, maybe 2 total in
I don't
like
think you slept for
broken
2.
spells.
You laid down for a while, but
Yeah.
I don't think
I laid down on the floor twice because my back was starting
Yeah,
to
me
bother
too.
me.
Mhm.
Being hunched over an instrument, it takes a toll on your back. So I would just have to take a break every once in a while and just lay on the floor and
Flatten out a little bit.
and rethink my life. And
Why am I doing this? Who
why
talked
am I
me into
doing
this?
Sorry.
Never
No one
again.
talked me into doing it. I talked myself into
no,
doing
me
it.
too. I
yeah,
love,
actually,
I, love
I
the
don't
idea.
know the story about how the three or the two of you met in Dallas.
Internet.
Dude, I love the internet.
The internet.
I didn't.
Same.
I didn't find Rasan. He replied to an ad that Foz posted. Our drummer in LA
Yeah.
maybe looking for a bassist.
Yeah.
And
And
turns
then he
out he's
auditioned.
right next door to us, anyways,
Got
practicing with another band. So this happened
Yeah,
to be like
Matt, I met through the first iteration of this podcast.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
emailed them and met them at a Steel Panther concert
In Myrtle
and,
Beach, yeah.
and then we became friends, and
Nice.
ever since then, yeah,
Well, that was quick. Thanks.
no
Yeah.
problem.
Really good story.
You're welcome.
We've probably told that story.
I'm glad I met you, buddy, because
13
this
times
was
on
a really
this
fun
podcast.
experience.
It was a great
and,
time.
dude. It was really awesome.
And it was very freeing. There was like no expectations, no pressure. Even in
really
the
did-
harder parts, it was like, no, dude, we know you
I
got this.
I love that. Nobody really got frustrated. There were
Yeah.
some moments where it was like we could tell we were tired, but I could also tell that everyone was like
We know what
self-talk,
this
like
is.
we got to be positive. You
Right.
know, like
It was a good time.
there's
Everybody
no
knew
point
what
in
the
being
deal
pissed
was.
or frustrated or anything.
Every time I
True.
felt myself throwing a little tantrum, I was remembering that I was just reverting back to being a child and it being past my bedtime.
Yeah.
It literally is
so
sleep deprivation, man.
it really is. Like it gets you and it makes you like, and that's the thing about like time stretching and contracting and all that.
Mhm.
Like the moments where we were stuck felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
But then like I would look again at my clock, and a whole hour would have passed by. Like 3:00 turned into 4:30,
yeah.
and
Before you knew it. Yeah.
yeah, before I even
We
knew
tracked
it.
the second song in like 2.5 hours, but for me, it flew by. I was like, it's already 4:30.
Yeah,
Well, we
So
didn't track
weird.
it in 2.5 hours. We wrote it.
we wrote it.
2.5 hours.
Oh my
So the first song we
What a
did,
beast.
we did a solid first take. We did 2 other takes, and then we did 1 final take. So we're
Right.
4 takes.
Right.
The 4th take, spliced with a couple things from the first take, is what ended up being the take that you
Yep.
hear.
Yeah,
The second song, which is by far the most complicated,
by far.
we did 1 take,
That's so crazy. I
and
was
then
there
we
for that.
punched 2 parts.
Mhm.
and that was it. But 75% of that song is the first take.
When you
with
hear that
minimal
song,
editing.
People, when you hear that song, you're not gonna like. I just can't believe. Like, to me, that timing is so
Like foreign.
like
like
so
speaking a
close
different
to
language, you know
4/4,
what I
but not 4/4 that it just makes you want to fall right back into 4/4. And there's
Yeah.
4/4 parts in it, so you know what I mean. Like it's all very lending to dropping right into what you normally feel like, but
It's an odd one.
very
And then the third song
intricate.
we wrote really fast.
Oh yeah, because all of our creative juices were like spin at that point.
That
Like,
was
you know
after
what?
breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
breakfast,
you know what?
dude.
This is just what music sounds like.
So we did the first song, which was high energy. We did the second song, which was rough because it was the middle of the night. It was a difficult song. We were writing difficult parts. We were
Yeah.
all like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And then we tracked that one, and then we kind of had some downtime. I was editing some stuff. That's when you guys were laying down. Matt was working on
I was
lyrics.
writing.
That's when I laid down for a minute.
And then we got up,
And then we got up, got breakfast,
came back and wrote a
came back
blues.
and banged
And
out the
then-
third
Dude,
one
we
really
knocked
fast.
knocked
Dallas
that
just
song
started-
out.
He just started playing something.
I remember seeing him
And
just playing, and you guys all joined in, and
we
it was a
played
song.
it back at him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went to
The four.
the 4, and then
It's a blues song.
It's
you're gonna
very-
go 1
it's
4
very
5.
So
like-
good though. I mean, it was so good to write that song.
Yeah, no, it was
too.
just natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
the,
It was
the
it was
sound
kind
of
of I think a morale booster that we needed. You know,
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
maybe.
It was because we were kind
after
of,
all the mental processes that went into the second one.
Late
we
night,
were
yeah.
kind of destined to do something a lot more simple, and we kind of talked about how we knew it was coming, but I didn't know how easily it would arrive.
Oh yeah,
at
there
that
was no
place,
stress
you know?
about it.
We wrote it, less than 30 minutes,
Less than 30
Yeah.
minutes.
and then
we
we
had our
tracked. We did
parts.
2
you
takes,
had
and the
track.
second take is the one you're hearing.
Yeah, we
I might have spliced one like drum fill from you or something that you
Yeah.
didn't like, but other than that, it's all the second
Yeah,
take.
I think the song was tracked an hour after
yeah.
we got back from McDonald's. Like you were like, "Hey, that song's done." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
Matt came back and like, it's so weird. I thought you like went to the bathroom or something.
I just went outside because it was so nice out, and I was like, "I'm just gonna chill
Yeah, it was
outside in the
really
sun
nice.
and write some
But
lyrics."
see, but it went by so fast. I was like, oh, I guess Matt's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're done with this song. Like,
yeah, I was out
you know what I
front
mean?
writing the other one. I was
Yeah.
like, "You guys are done." That's crazy.
It's
I was
been a
impressed.
great experience.
I was impressed. And great song. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually paused writing the second one because it was stumping you.
Right, and
you
yeah, I
banged out
needed a
the
break
third
from
one.
the second one, so it worked out. I needed
Then we went back to
Yeah.
the second
and
one.
we
got
teamworked
that
it, and thank you, Seth, for writing the chorus on that because it's killer.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a
Love
fun
it.
time, man.
So
love
the first song too, like sonically, I just want to kind of touch upon what you can kind of expect with these. Like the first song, I definitely got a sort of Fighters meets almost
Your mic cut out. Make sure you plug that in.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Are we
It
back?
just cut out at Soundgarden, so say that again.
Okay. So it was I forgot my train of thought. Oh yeah. The sound for the first song is definitely like Foo Fighters meets Soundgarden meets like some, I don't know, some maybe punk elements too,
Yeah.
like Ramones.
For
a
me,
little
it
bit.
has kind of the punky side of GNR
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that
yeah,
flat
it's definitely
6 is
got
what
that.
mostly reminds me of it.
Yeah.
And all the pushes. It was
All
there.
the pushes, all the anticipations for all you
Yeah.
metal theory nerds out there. The second song is definitely Tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually
Deftones,
contacted
like-
them, and we're gonna like sell it to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
It's
I
been
hope we
10
could do
years. I don't know what.
that. Yeah, so we ended up writing a Tool song faster than they
Tool.
could probably find the time to find to write one.
It is
riff.
no-
We
Nowhere-
wrote the whole song in the time they took to find the bass tone.
It is nowhere
Actually,
near
And the bass tone
anywhere
is
near where
so
Tool
killer
can
on
be.
that
But
song, dude.
Yeah, the bass tone actually on that one is pretty much.
yeah,
such
no,
a-
dude.
strong.
I don't know what that bass riff was, but those 4 years at Burke,
Is that your compressor that you use mainly on that? You like really like what did
You
you
got
use
some
on that
gain on
tone?
it, too, right?
yeah, man. it was
Oh
like the-
yeah, it was just so I have the 3-channel SansAmp, the programmable
Yep.
SansAmp pedal. So I have this
The Tech
this-
9.
the Tech 9.
21.
The Tech 21 SansAmp. So I have all 3 channels dialed into like from like super clean, kind of a little bit of grit, and then Holy Mother of God
Yep.
overdrive.
Yep.
So I had the little bit of grit on. I couldn't tell you. Like I set that thing 3 years ago. I don't remember what it actually is, and I've probably changed it maybe twice.
Right.
But I had that, and then plus some chorus. So I run an MXR chorus pedal.
You know what I'm
And,
just realizing it reminded me of? It reminds me of Stone by Alice in Chains. I'm
Yes, it
looking at
does.
Seth because he
Yeah.
was in the Alice in
Yes,
Chains
it
tribute
does.
with me. How it starts with that bass. And that bass is like kind of crunchy.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Hey, do you mind walking us through the, or at least letting the audience know that they're not hearing an overlay or an overdub of what's
So there's
going on in the verses.
There's a section I have very very silly ideas when it comes to what a bass should be doing, because I come from a background that's very like I grew up on a lot of bass virtuosos and learned how to play like that very early
Billy
on.
Sheehan,
Like Billy Sheehan, Stu Ham, Jocko, you name it. I have
Miles
tried
Davis.
it, and
Marley Daniels.
Marley
Marley
Daniels,
Daniels.
Alice Coltrane, you know, yeah, stuff like that. But anyway,
Jingle
so
Comp Pain.
what?
I don't know. I'm just taking the names.
Django Reinhardt.
Put him in.
So like what I did, there's a riff in one of the middle sections of the second song, our Tool ripoff, that has two bass parts overlaid, and that's actually me two-handed tapping using a technique that's basically like Chapman stick technique.
Yeah, they're not overlaid.
But they're
you're
not
playing-
overdubbed. I
Yeah,
was like-
there's no overdubs. You played it all at the same time.
And I'm like sitting there listening to the playback, just absolutely shocked that my time was still intact. At
Yeah, it worked out well.
4
Yeah.
whatever in the morning.
Well, it was cool because I was playing 4/4 over. Like I
Yeah.
I
Yeah, so Rasan's
reverted.
tapping a riff in 9 basically, and you're
It's
playing.
9/4,
and
and,
you're
then
playing 9/8.
everything
Matches
else.
up.
Surrounding.
I guess it is 9/4.
pretty brilliantly.
Yeah, everything just kind of came together in a way that nobody expected in that song, and it was
Mhm.
very cool.
And I know we keep saying Tool, but let's get back to the Alice in Chains influence on that. Dallas and I have been talking about running a song in that vein for a while. I guess it's just
I
what
wrote
comes-
one kind
comes
of like
out.
that, and Matt sang on it. It's called Black Magic. I'll
Yeah.
show it to you sometime.
No, you have.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, it's good.
I've
Very
talked
good.
about that on the podcast too.
Yeah,
No, it is a good time.
so we found something like kind of bendy.
Yeah, it's
and-
like Stone, down, 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 that kind of
yeah,
vibe.
like
It's like
Stone, like Check My
grunge
Brain,
gent.
like very
Anytime you're bending like drop D, like second, first fret, it's modern Alice in Chains.
Yeah. Speaking
Um,
of, if you're looking for a drummer,
So that part of the song, I don't think is so much Tool,
no,
but then obviously a lot of other parts are very Tool influenced on purpose.
yeah, and it's just 'cause
We were talking about like, wouldn't it be cool to write a Tool song? And then somebody threw out a riff, and I was like, all right, here we go.
It's an illusion.
It's happening.
it goes to
It
it.
definitely happens. So yeah, that and it's a right hand double tapped part, because I wanted to. Justin Chancellor uses a lot of different effects like phasers and flangers, and one of his favorite things to do is he likes to go up high and use delay. I don't have a delay
Yeah.
on my board, so I did the next best thing and just
Yeah, you're right. As I'm
Did it.
thinking through it, yeah, you're right. I never really noticed, but yeah.
so I just imitated it, and it sounds like really.
I can't wait to hear it back.
accurate.
Yeah,
I can't wait to like hear it when it's
Yeah, I guess you want me to put a delay on that.
Do you
yeah.
think you want to? I don't know. Like maybe if it fits, it fits.
I'll forget because I never put delay on bass, so you'll have to remind me.
Naturally, most people don't.
I
But
delay all my bass. Dotted A.
Dotted A, yeah. I like that. I like the room tone. So I got it running through Hall of Fame. It's a really big room.
Yep.
A cathedral setting.
yeah,
for bass.
and I don't feel like the third song is getting enough credit. It did come together quickly. Let's talk about that bridge, that like wonderful
Oh, the-
solo you
That's the
laid
solo
down.
section.
That
Yeah.
lead.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Allman Brothers
That's
kind of
gorgeous.
thing.
Yeah,
Harmony
Rassam was like,
guitars.
I played this one little note, and I was joking around because it's clearly like a minor feeling song, and I was playing in major. And Rassam was like, you should do an Allman Brothers thing. And I did it.
Yeah.
He just did
Nailed it.
Because the whole time I had what's the name of the song? Ramblin' Man, I think is it
Yeah.
called?
Lord, I was born a rambling man.
Yeah. I had
Good
that
song.
in my head the whole time, and it's got that like call and response vocal and then that
Yeah.
harmonized thing at the
Mhm.
top there, and just other things that they do in their jams too. And he just started playing stuff, and every single thing he came afterwards. And I'm sitting here like half asleep too. I think
Yeah.
I might have still been laying down on the couch or something. Like
Drinking our coffees,
Yeah.
not
We were.
not working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not working. We
Yeah.
were drinking coffee, so I was heavily caffeinated and
Yeah,
was
Matt
very
was out
excited.
writing lyrics.
I
Yeah.
had Red Bull.
You two were coffeeing.
So
This is after we got back from McDonald's. This is
yeah,
probably like
this
10
was the
a.m.,
third song.
10 or 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Mm.
By the way, it's worth saying I double tracked all the rhythm guitars. So what that means is we would play the takes, the main takes was one guitar and then bass and drums.
Mhm.
And then you guys would go sit down and I would pull it up and record the double exactly what I did
Yeah.
again. So we had 2 guitars.
And then we did some overdubs with guitars too. So the leads on the third song are all, of course,
Yeah,
done.
overdubbed,
in post.
yeah,
Not-
so that
not
Allman
post,
Brothers
but
thing
after-
we
after the
worked
live
out and
takes.
did a couple takes on that. Main
Yeah.
solo though was
One
the first take, and there's a couple things I would change maybe, but I mean it's
I
You
wouldn't
just
change a
held out
thing.
that one note. We're like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Then I as a goof tried one, and it started out
yeah, you had a couple cool licks
kind
for
of
sure.
promising.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to play in an E flat standard tuning, so I kept on going to the wrong key.
Mhm.
And because I just always transpose. I never tune down.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you do. Yeah, that's right. Because so I'm
You have
playing
to
down a half
search-
step,
never
Rasan's
bothered.
playing
Yeah.
in standard.
Yeah.
So everything I do, he's transposing.
So I'm like going to my usual stuff, and I'm using my eyes. Don't do that.
Mhm.
And I go to the stuff that would work in E, but I'm not in E.
You're in E flat,
I'm in E
Yeah.
flat.
or G flat, F sharp in this case.
Yeah, key F sharp because that's what the song was. But yeah, it was a total mess, so we deleted it. But it was fun.
Yeah.
I haven't played guitar
But the
in a
end
couple days, so-
solo was the very first take. I just hit record, except for the first note. The first
Like-
note goes and lands on a little note or something. I
Looking
had
back,
that, and then I went and did the Allman Brothers thing. Then I came back and punched the solo, and the rest of that solo was just the first take.
Yeah.
if everyone seems to, or when we get feedback from this, if I would like to know what people think about each song and like what they're hearing, because by the time the third song was wrapped up, we knew each other pretty well musically.
The chemistry
It
was
was
definitely
just-
good. We
it-
just
it
got
was
back from
just-
breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah. it was
So
good.
I'm wondering if that'll show in the recordings.
I think it
And what-
definitely will.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of see the stages of.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
And then
of
in verse
everything.
2, when I was doing a halftime shuffle during these open chords, and I just reverted into a quintuplet shuffle while Rasan was doing a fill, and then he caught me. He like
ended up,
changed
yeah.
subdivisions
we
with
were,
me.
We were on it.
It was
We
like
were on it there.
ugh. It was like
Dude.
stank face activate.
Again,
There's some really cool
just
playing in that
shocked. Like
song.
I just followed it as just like a joke, and then on playback, every single time I heard it, I was like, it doesn't suck. It doesn't
Yeah,
suck.
yeah.
Like,
The
we
bass,
actually
the
got it.
bass and drums in that last song, because the guitar is really simple. It doesn't
Yeah.
take much,
Yeah,
except for the solo, I guess maybe. But the bass and the drums really brought that to life. Didn't make
Yeah.
it boring.
I was
One time.
shocked about how good that whole song sounded for how quickly it came together. You told me it was done. I came in here and I was like, you guys didn't like slack off, and this is a great sounding.
It's
song.
funny.
You guys
Rasan just
played
said you
shit
can
out
hear
of
the
it.
evolution of the night. It's funny because the first song is real high energy. You can tell like we were
Yeah.
fucking pumped.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
second song, you could tell like we got cute with it. We were trying to get like like how much cool shit can we throw in and
Right.
think about. And then the third song, you can tell we were like fucking hell, dude. Like,
Yeah.
let's
Out.
crank a blues jam
Yeah.
out and get going.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Get
felt
outta
great
here.
though. You know how good that felt? Like just to like
Yeah.
have a song. Here's one we can attack. Here's one.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
For me as well. Like because that 9/8 song definitely threw me for a loop, man. I was trying to like figure out what I'm gonna like the cadence to the vocals, and that 9/8
I've always
kept
wondered
throwing me
how
off.
like
Singers approach that.
vocals are written.
Yeah.
And singers are written for like Symphony X, Dream Theater. I know John Petrucci does
Yeah.
the Dream Theater
I
stuff. But
imagine
still,
those dudes have to be on top of the music. They really have to know what's going on there.
yeah.
Well,
crazy.
Really crazy.
congratulations! You are now on top of the music.
I
Thank
wanted
you,
to say
thank you
something
very
because
much.
You guys
I'm
for showing
because
me
I'm
that.
the only one that's done these before. This one was different and interesting because we were live tracking everything, so we could kind of like notate ideas really fast.
Right.
And it was we were able to get more work done with less work, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Because
And it wasn't all on you. You know.
So in the past, Stefan is the other guitar player who was a part of it, and we would write together, and then we would have to record our parts in, program a drum part, program a bass part, work it all out, blah 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 blah. But here it was like we all worked our parts out. I hit record, and it was done. All the bass and drums were done. Didn't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
program a thing. I just had to go back and double the guitar. That took one take. Done. You know what I
super
mean?
nice, man. Like
it was collaborative. It was
Yeah.
easy.
it was so awesome. Like
It was just nice to have all that multi-track stuff set up so we could just easily,
use the X32.
talk.
Don't
Yeah,
do
we were
that.
running. The X32 was the audio interface.
That was
So,
great.
Which is a very, very good sounding
Sounds great, man. I
board,
can't.
just overall.
I'm blown away.
Man, what a day!
I was
What a
happy. Yeah,
whole
bass,
day.
bass and
What a
guitars
day,
direct,
dude.
so those sound great, in
Yeah.
a coffee shop. But the drums sounded, I was surprised they sounded good.
Yeah, me too.
So what we're calling this the 24-hour 3P?
Yeah, we were going to call it the
3P,
24-hour 3P.
What's
Number
our
three.
name for the record?
Power
What's our
moves.
Power
Name? Power
moves.
moves.
Easy.
Or
Okay.
dirty boys.
Should we?
With the
Doherty
dome
boys.
lot.
Doherty
Yeah.
boys. Should we?
Doherty
Should we
boys.
explain power moves? Should we?
Sure.
I don't even know if
we
I
go
You guys
into it?
explain it because I don't even know what.
No, this is like-
so we're going to. We went to this burger joint for dinner.
Explain it that way.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the very beginning. So we
Okay.
went to this burger joint for dinner, and we get shown to our table,
Mhm.
and Dallas is walking just right in front of me, and he just goes straight for. Actually, first, like I'm sitting shotgun in the car, Dallas is driving, and in like the biggest blur I've ever seen, he just like grabs everything that he needs to
Yeah.
not be in the car within like a split second. I blink and then I just see arms just everywhere in front of me.
Dude, I have a system, and I
Yeah.
go wallet, open, close, lock, keys,
It's
check,
like
the wallet,
he's-
out.
It's like he's running away from somebody or something. I thought I was in immediate danger, but anyway,
Dallas
Seth
is like-
jokes
You
that
were.
it was
Yeah.
a power move, like that
Yeah.
that he was forcing us out of the car,
Mhm.
making us go at his own pace, and then
Which is not true.
the second. Well,
He just goes at his pace, and
he
you
just
can
goes
follow.
at his pace, and we
Do what
can
you wanna
follow.
do.
The second and biggest power move was he was in front of me, directly in front
As
of
a
me,
line
We
leader.
were walking single file to the table.
as
single
the line
file.
leader, almost single.
Well, Matt was
file.
in front of me, but yeah.
I was.
So
Matt
he
did the
goes
courtesy.
to.
Matt did it. He took the table to the side. You know,
I'm less than like 10 inches away
Mm-hmm.
from Dallas behind him, and he just as quickly as he can pulls a seat out from under the table.
That
and
blocks-
just plops him.
Yeah.
that
plops
blocks the
himself
rest of the
first.
aisle.
Yeah,
Blocks
so
the
we have
rest
to
of
go
the
around like the
walkway.
restaurant to get to our side.
Power move.
Takes over so much space
Yeah.
just to assert whatever dominance he thinks he has.
Power moves.
You guys are putting a lot of shit on me that is not necessarily true.
No, it's not true at all. We're
And
just,
it's-
we're
No,
just
it's
messing.
definitely
with the
reading
best
too far into
intentions.
It's with the
that.
best
It's funny.
intentions.
It
It
was
was.
very
I will
fun.
say it was fucking hilarious though.
Yeah.
Because
Very
we sat
funny.
down
We
and,
laughed
and
about
Seth and Rasan are just dying laughing, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they explained it to me, and I was like, "Yeah, that's hilarious."
Yeah, that's a good time.
Because I didn't think about it. I just was like, "I'll grab the first seat I see. You know, it's not a big deal."
I remember them talking
Matt
about
grabbed
that.
the first seat he saw.
Yeah,
I grabbed the
exactly.
first one I saw. You
Exactly.
grabbed the last two. You know.
It's just like, how somebody behaves when they were in elementary school, like hall monitor or something.
Right.
Safety patrol. You know?
He would not have been line leader next week.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
never. any of
Dallas
that.
is the kind of guy who like drives in the lanes on Grand Theft Auto.
Oh no, that's not me at all.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I drive on the sidewalks, just fucking mowing pedestrians down.
Oh,
He's got
no.
so many
They're
parking
running
tickets
over
on
my car
Grand
like
Theft
wood
Auto,
chips.
dude.
Just like,
Dallas got so many parking tickets on
Dallas
Grand Theft
is
Auto.
Dallas is the one person that'll actually go bowling with Nico Bellic's cousin.
I don't understand the joke,
Yeah,
but I
me
do like
neither.
bowling.
that
GTA 4.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I
haven't
played
had
the
a
shit out of that,
console
but
in
it's
a
been a
while.
long time.
Dallas, are
Oh,
you
yeah,
good at
it's been a
bowling?
while.
The best no to answer your question. The best I ever bowled was like a 145 or 150, I think.
That's
Yeah.
still pretty decent.
That's
Yeah,
really
but like
good.
the worst I've ever bowled was like a 60.
Power
Like,
move.
Sure,
I'm,
everybody's got
I'm
one.
Power
usually
move.
closer to 60.
No, I mean the best I ever did was like 160.
My,
bet.
one
Great
of my
score.
one of
Really?
my buddies no, that's not a great score. I grew up my dad owns a cab company in Columbia, and they would, for the Christmas party every year, take the whole, like, all the drivers, everybody bowling.
Mhm.
Dude, everyone, my family, all the cab drivers, all the dispatchers, everything, dude, they would all bowl like 250 and up.
Ooh.
Now that's
Yeah.
a great score.
Yeah, so I grew up with like that.
Yeah.
I didn't bowl, like, obviously I was
Yeah.
a kid, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah,
They
150 is not shit.
never let you use bumpers.
So I'd go to my parents and be like,
bumpers
"Yeah,
are
I got a
for
150," and they're
Can't
like,
use bumper.
"What? Like, shut up,
Definitely
dude!"
not
Like,
competition. Like a
That
company-wide
sucks.
competition.
Yeah.
There was this
We should
kid
go.
at
We're gonna go
work
bowling
where I
after
work who bowled
this.
300, dude.
what?
You
Impressive, like, for a
wanna go hit
kid,
this
you
up?
know,
No.
300.
want to go home?
Obviously, spent a lot of time bowling.
This is really funny that we have two conversations.
We
going
have
on at the same
two
time.
separate conversations about bowling.
I'm talking to
going on
Seth
right
about bowling. They're both about bowling.
now. They're
That's
both
amazing.
about bowling.
We're talking about
Sorry, you go
discussion
first,
about
Matt.
bowling.
I
All
didn't-
I was saying is that there's a kid at work that I
Mhm.
worked with for a while who scored a 300, and he devoted
Yeah.
his life to bowling. He was like a bowling addict,
Mm.
and he was pretty stoked when he got 300.
I feel like
I thought to
Okay,
myself, like,
yeah, that's
I've-
just all strikes.
my
Yeah,
first
it's
my
like
first thoughts
100%.
of that
It's
is
all you can
why
get.
in the world would anybody devote their entire life to bowling, but then like
We're
people-
doing music.
We're doing
Yeah.
music.
Why in the world?
Chris,
I feel like-
Chris
I
Hardwick's
feel like
dad is a
anyone.
professional bowler, was a professional bowler,
I
and
feel
so
like-
Chris Hardwick is actually a phenomenal bowler.
Yeah, I believe.
I like Hardwick a
Love
lot.
such a good
He not him. What am I talking about?
Chris Hardwick?
Oh yeah, we the last time I went bowling, I was like, I'm gonna do so bad. I was going with my girlfriend, and she's not very good, and yeah, we're both not very good, but I'm just a little better than her. But we go start, and this is the first time we'd bowled together, and I was like, I'm probably gonna get like an 80 or something, dude. I started that game with 4 strikes in a row.
My guy.
Whoa,
It was
wow.
strike, strike, strike. I was like, dude, what? And then of course it was my normal thing, which is like 9, 9, 9,
Yeah.
9, or like 6 and 3, like.
Yep.
And it's just like I never get a spare, never get a strike. So when you get all 9s, that's 90. That's not a great score.
No,
So it's like,
so much you want.
dude, that is the story of my life with bowling.
There's a lot of strategy goes in it.
Anyway,
Fascinating.
this is the bowling podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're all right, y'all.
Any final thoughts? One question I wanted to ask everyone, go around the room, maybe expand on a little bit. Would you do it again? Not
Yeah.
necessarily with me,
I definitely
but
would.
is this something you would do
Yeah,
again?
this is something that I would promote to anybody. Except if I were you guys, I would trademark this.
I will say
It's a
I'll
great
say
idea.
this. I'll say this.
It's a really
Dallas,
good
I
idea.
wanna
I'm
do
sure
it-
someone's done
I
this
want to
before.
do it with like the
John Mayer
Barbarian
has.
guys. I want to like literally
Oh.
get together in a room and just lock ourselves in and see what happens. Like, because there's no, I don't think there's ever been a more productive like jam. Like you're literally trying to get product out like in a 24-hour period.
You have a quota.
I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
say, and it kind of didn't end up this way, but I wouldn't do this with like my band.
No.
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't either.
Like
What's
that.
the- all right,
that
tell me why, because I'm interested in this because
Hey,
just
can
as
you
a-
it's hard to
unpack
say
that
without
camaraderie thing.
potentially hurting people's feelings, but it's not meant in any bad way at all. But that just wouldn't be very fun. It would feel like work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
And there would be the pressure of like, this is something we need to
This
fucking
has to
use.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's something
With
that
you
we have
guys,
to
like,
put out.
and it kind of didn't work that way because 2 of you guys are actually in my band, so 75% of us are in the same band.
Right.
But just having Seth was enough to make it
brought
feel
a
like,
whole
well, we're
different
never going to do
thing,
anything
right.
with this music, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
brought a whole different energy
No
to
pressure.
it. It was a drummer that I've never played with before, so I played differently, naturally.
Yeah.
And because of at least 2 of us playing differently than we normally do, it creates a different situation. for
Another thing that
everybody.
really helped is even though I'm in the band with Rasan and I do a lot of work with Matt, and Matt's also in the band, I've never sat down and written music with you guys.
That is true, actually. We've
So-
never done that before. And now we
Because-
understand
mostly because
how we work.
Rasan's new to my life,
Yeah.
and Matt we never done it.
We never
So
done it.
We were always
So-
doing podcasts or
Exactly.
working
There's
with your
always-
band or whatever.
Yeah, but this is good, man. To really put aside a time and really get together and hammer out some music like this, man, it was fun. Like I had a
Cool.
great time.
It's like a brain dump. It's like
It
a
was, man.
yeah. It's like a chocolate
Did you
cleanse.
guys underestimate how mentally exhausting it would be?
Yeah, I did. I definitely did.
Or
My
did
mind
you
was
think-
exhausted.
Or did you kind
dude. I
of?
just got done with exams. This is like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
like my break.
yeah.
I
well,
This is
haven't-
amazing.
I think it reminded me a lot when I was in school. So I had done something like this before, but I haven't done like a straight up all-nighter with a deadline and everything in a long time. Like the work that I do is all very loose deadlines.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
choose
Yeah,
to work
fun
during
kind,
the
yeah.
day. I never really work during the night unless I'm on a gig. So it's not really like something that I'm used to where I'm up burning so much midnight oil to get something that has to be
At
done.
both ends for
done.
sure.
Every time I've done this, and this is the third one, I underestimate how hard a
Yeah.
24 hours is.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like I need 24 hours. Like, it's not
No.
a big deal.
On second thought, yeah, there was a point in there where I'm like, wow, this is more than I bit off to chew.
Yeah.
Which is the saying.
I said I thought the same thing when I was out there. When I was out there sitting on
This is more than I chewed with my
It's a
mouth.
bit off with my teeth.
Yeah.
I'll say that when I was out there sitting on the couch and Rasan and Seth were napping and Dallas was like kind of just laying down for a second, just taking a breather.
hmm
And I was sitting out there just like, this is kind of extreme. Like this is like to hold yourself awake like that and also try and fire on all your cylinders and be creative. Like it's a tough thing to do because that's the
Yeah.
first thing that goes is your creativeness. Like when you're tired and worn out.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, I mean, you might be like in a different mindset.
And then diplomacy is next.
And then cannibalism after that.
Cannibalism.
Once everybody gets hungry and there's
Coming up, dude.
It's all full circle.
Not
See, I
only am I
feel-
the first one to eat one of you guys, I'm the first one to
Oh,
bring
man.
up that someone's getting eaten.
Power move.
Power move.
Power move.
Also.
There you go.
Power move.
We talked about that at dinner, actually.
He actually told us how he's going to cook us.
I felt
Well, that's not true.
I felt
Royal.
to bring it back. I
We have a
felt
microwave, I think.
I felt that the creativity aspect of
Microwaved human. Sorry, Rasan.
it was pretty
Dude,
like
metal band name. Sorry again. Go ahead.
what? Sorry, Rasan.
Microwaved human.
humans of metal bands.
Probably already a metal
Yeah,
band.
gotta
Gotta
is.
be. Mute
All right,
everything.
sorry, go
Everything's
ahead,
already
go
been done. What I was saying though was, I feel like my creativity is kind of like when I'm tired, or when I've had just a long day, or if I'm just mentally drained, I actually play and produce and write my best.
Hmm.
That's
This
the college
actually,
mentality.
it reminded me of a backstory. When I was a senior in high school, like 2 weeks after my audition to Berkeley, actually, I got a concussion. I used to play rugby, and with that sport comes the potential for injury. And I got what was diagnosed as a mild concussion that ended up, killing my ability to read.
Oh wow.
I had to relearn how to read. I had to relearn how to read not only English but French in time for exams. I almost didn't graduate high school.
Holy.
So yeah, I had to get it going. But one thing that helped me was writing music. I could still my hand-eye coordination was shot, but my creative, I was just hearing so much stuff and just needing to take advantage of my free time and just write. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and that was some of the most off the wall creative material that I've ever done, just because my brain was so free to kind of fix itself. It was in the process of fixing itself, and because of that, it was just going anything, just give me something to work with. And because of that, I just got a little bit better at writing music.
Cool.
And I think the same thing kind of happened here, where you're just more willing to try whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say
it's just a brain dump. It's
it
just
changes
whatever
your
comes out.
perspective a little bit. Like when you're you're tired and you're trying to come up with the next song. Like that third song you guys came up with changed the way, from the second song to the third song, for instance. You changed the way you got because you were tired and were at a different point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also,
Totally
we had
perspective.
food. Food helps.
It's interesting
Food
for
helped a
me.
lot.
I feel like I get tired, but it doesn't seem to affect me too bad.
No.
Until it gets a real late
Right.
point.
Yeah.
But
You go on
I can go,
48 hours. Yeah.
Is it a thing where you
I was up at 9 on Friday and I did not nap.
Wow.
So I was going on 24 hours at 9 this morning.
I was up at 6:30 on Friday. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
And same thing for you. So I mean,
It's trying.
So I was up
but-
for a
But
while.
at the same time,
I tried
know
to
what
rest,
you
but I
mean.
couldn't.
The perspective, the different perspective does give you it doesn't kill your creativity. It helps you a little bit. You're looking at it from a different.
Yeah.
So
Do you find that it's a thing where there's a deadline and you're just push through, you can relax?
That
I was
definitely
about to
helps.
say it's interesting that it's self-imposed too.
Yeah.
If we were all fuck it, let's go home. No, nothing's lost. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
But we self-imposed it and got shit done.
What is that saying? I know why
Which
the
is
caged
interesting.
bird sings. It's Maya Angelou. When you put restrictions on yourself, your creativity just flourishes.
Oh, yeah.
Also, because we shouldn't cage
Birds.
birds. That's the word.
Yeah.
Shouldn't cage those.
Don't
Flight,
lock it up
flight
too much.
takers.
Flight
takers, flight animals.
Yeah, that's interesting. Restraint
Should have
oftentimes
caged the wings one.
leads you to more
Been.
freedom. I I tend to, when I write music on my own, I have a kind of name for when I get stuck called writing myself into a hole.
Right.
Because when I'm not writing to a specific genre or with a specific purpose, I'm just going and going and going and going. And there will be most points where there will be chords that I'm doing that are just so out there that I have to then figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get through it? And that leads me to know that my options are limited. So then it's more of just following those restraints and get me to the quote unquote right answer
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
as soon as possible. So I can just move on with my life.
Right.
There's that other.
You're not going to do a jazz thing, or you're not going to do whatever it is that your constraint is.
Yeah,
you're not doing
you
that.
know what you're not
Right,
doing.
right.
So
It almost just closes some opportunities for you.
yeah,
So that you
and
don't-
that Tool song, we're not going to take a country break or in the middle of it or anything. It's
Yeah.
going to be still something in that same style. So it's going to work.
I'm terrible at
Within
taking
those
selfies.
same outlines, we just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, it's cool, man. We talked about that in the beginning, what we could possibly do, put a constraint on ourselves, or do little things just to challenge ourselves, or to
No
make a different
dotted
result.
eighth notes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That did work out. I don't think there was this. Never mind. We did.
we did.
We
all
swung
over
the
the place,
entire
too.
last song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That song was.
Final thoughts. Closing thoughts.
This was awesome. I'm glad. I'm really tired. I want to get some sleep. That's my biggest thing. But it was really fun.
Yeah,
I'm
drive
really glad
home.
I did it.
My wife isn't expecting me until 10. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be there hey.
God, John.
Sorry, here I am.
Yeah.
As much as
I'm
I
going
want
sleep.
to nap, I want to get my sleep schedule back on track.
Right, so you're gonna
I-
hang out.
Push through. It's like jet lag. You got to push through a couple
Yeah.
hours and then go to bed at normal time.
You get
Yeah.
the greatest sleep though.
True.
So,
Yeah.
but I really did enjoy this entire experience.
I would do it again.
much
I
better.
would do it again.
Yeah, I would
will.
also do it again.
Well, for sure. I think we'll have to plan them out accordingly. We don't want to have them
Yeah.
back to back.
The first time we did one of these, we were saying let's do one a year. That was me, Grayson, and Stefan.
Mm.
And we did the first one. It was September, October 2016. Then the next one, it was January 2015. And then January 2016. So that was 3-4 months apart.
Yeah,
And then this is the next one. So it's been
Has
2
it been
years.
that long?
2.5 years.
Yeah.
No,
They're almost 3, dude.
almost 3 years. Basically 3 years. It was
You-
January 2016, and it's about to be January 2019.
Well, I think that getting new musicians involved puts new life into the project. I hope I'm invited back.
Yeah, and the reason it was so hard to schedule is because Grayson's married with a kid.
Yeah.
Stefan's got all kinds of work stuff and family stuff going on,
He's a grown man.
and I also have a really busy schedule. So trying to get those 3 schedules synced up proved to be impossible.
Yeah,
So
mine and
still haven't done it,
Rasan's, though.
so.
Me and Rasan are just always open. We don't do anything.
Yeah, and this took a while because Seth has a lot of stuff going on. And he was in school, so we had to do it when he was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to get like a group of people who are obviously busy.
And what's hard is like you can do I could have gotten you guys together for dinner once a week,
Right.
but for 24 hours,
24 hours is the thing,
clearing
right?
a schedule for 24 hours is a brutal
That's the
thing.
thing, yeah.
Like stuff gets canceled, stuff gets moved.
Yep.
Worth it.
Crazy.
So worth it.
So we had this plan since like August, I think, sometime around
Something
then.
like that. Yeah. It wasn't long after I met you where you
Yeah.
had like hit me up and
Yeah, I remember
asked me
getting
to
that
do
text.
this crazy idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I said,
I told
"Sure."
him, I think when I first met him, I told him, or maybe we came up in conversation. I told him, I said, I love that idea. I really would love to be a part of it. So
Mhm.
this is my chance to do it, and I'm glad I got to.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep.
Cool. All right, guys.
What is that riff that plays? Do you still use your musician talk show
Yeah,
riff?
Oh yeah.
Talk show,
Do 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 do. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Let's just all sing it together
Here
for
we
the
go.
outro.
Oh, you just gonna let me do it? That's how it is?
Yep.
I'm just gonna let you do it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I like when it goes it goes to the octave.
Yeah, it does.
It's
Cool,
fun. All right, man. We're out.
That's
See you guys
it,
later.
You got out.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could take a second to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast, it really helps us to be more visible to more musicians.
And don't forget, you can support the show by clicking on the link on our website that'll take you to our Patreon page. There you'll have access to content that is unavailable to non-patrons.
Make sure you follow our socials by going to themusicianstalkshow.com/Facebook/Instagram or /YouTube to stay up to date on all the cool things we have going on here at the show. And lastly, email us with any questions, comments, concerns, or guest ideas at dallas@themusicianstalkshow.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.